Hi, this is Pastor Doug. Last Sunday, as we continued to sharpen our focus on Jesus, we began to look at the way that Scripture speaks of the return of Christ. Good news, Jesus is returning. The early church held on to that hope that despite trouble and hardship and opposition, that Jesus, in fact, would return and that he would put an end to evil and he would usher in a brand new age, an age where there was peace and righteousness and worship and all would be well because evil is no more. As we looked at Jesus' words to the disciples in Matthew 23 and 24, we saw the compassion and mercy of God. Jesus wept over the city of Jerusalem. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how I've longed to gather you under my wings, but you were not willing. And hearing the cry of really a broken heart that Jesus had come to his own people, and generally they had received him not. The good news is that for all who do receive him, he gives the right to become children of God. If you want to think more about the heart of God for the lost, I suggest you go to Luke chapter 15, where there's 3 different stories that Jesus tells in the context of where the publicans and sinners, the tax collectors and sinners, were gathered around him. And in that context, the Pharisees and the scribes were like, why does he welcome and eat with sinners? And Jesus told the story of 3 different lost things or people. There was the lost sheep, and how a shepherd leaves the 99 to diligently and desperately search for that lost one. And when that lost sheep is found, there is great rejoicing. And then a woman with a lost coin, how she sweeps her house looking desperately for that. And again, when she finds that, there is great rejoicing. In fact, it says the angels in heaven are having a party when someone who is lost is now found. And then he tells the story of a lost son, the quote, the prodigal son. A son who left home, left his father, and then finally came to the end of himself when he kind of hit rock bottom. And as he starts to come back, his father runs to him, greets him, embraces him, and rejoices that his son who was lost is now found. That's the heartbeat of God for lost people. He's actively pursuing people. Some have referred to the Lord as the hound of heaven, who's seeking lost people to be found. I wonder if we have that mindset that God is actively seeking the people around us. He is actively seeking to draw them to himself. And the question to continue to ask ourselves, who is being responsive to that? Who is open to having discussion and conversations about that? Who is eager to hear more about how to have a personal and saving relationship with Jesus Christ? Let's get our antennas up and be ready to respond in those situations. This week we'll be back in Matthew 24 and we'll continue to look at the events surrounding the return of Jesus. And this week particularly focusing on the fact that it will not be easy to wait. There will be difficult and challenging times ahead for the followers of Jesus. They have been since Jesus ascended to heaven, and they will get increasingly more challenging right before he returns. So I encourage you to be spending some time reading Matthew 24, Matthew 25, as we work through some of the ways that Jesus describes his return. It's good news that he's returning, but hang on, because the road ahead is tough. We'll see you on Sunday, and I hope you have a great week.